I just really like the touch of a book, the smell of the pages, and of course, the words. It doesn't matter if it's a paperback book or a Kindle. Reading nowadays is anything but antique. Being able to read at this age will really give you an edge and gives you a lot of competitive advantage. Bill Gates openly talked about one of his favorite books, which is called Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. Timothy Chalamet promoted Crime and Punishment in 1984. Some of the most influential and powerful figures in the world, they all have one habit: reading. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." And in a distracted age, reading will give you the ability of unique critical thinking and therefore success in life. Reading gives you a deeper understanding and deeper wisdom compared to your contemporary peers whose main source of information comes from short form content. All of those contents are instant and also made in the past 24 hours, therefore making the knowledge that they can absorb superficial, short-lived. Reading, on the other hand, it gives you a deeper understanding and a better perspective that has been gathered over generations and generations of scholars, deep thinkers, and so on. You are learning from the pages an accumulation of human wisdom. Such wisdom is transgenerational. Therefore, what you are getting from books is so much deeper, richer. Reading enhances your critical thinking and also the ability to analyze situations. By reading different kinds of books, you are a follower of complex ideas. Since your base of knowledge is so wide and so rich, you will be able to see patterns and make connections better. This ability to see patterns helps you to really think critically. This makes you less likely to be manipulated or swayed by superficial information or misleading information that is so prevalent in our everyday society right now. Reading gives you better ability in communication and articulation. A person who reads a lot, his or her vocabulary and also ways to persuade other people is greatly enhanced, therefore making you a much more effective and persuasive speaker. A person who has a greater command of language and a greater command of communication styles is more likely to gain power to get what he or she wants. Long-term reading increases your attention span and your ability to focus in a world that's completely distracted. The 5-second attention span is what is turning modern human beings into creatures of quick dopamine reward and creatures of strong social media addiction. Reading requires sustained attention. You are more likely to gather and to absorb higher level and higher quantity of knowledge. And that gives you a much better knowledge base to train your other abilities and to all in all increase your intelligence. Reading makes you more sensitive to the human condition. It also helps you develop a higher level of empathy and emotional intelligence, making them easier to connect with other people, have an influence over other people. It really sets you apart from the herd. Reading improves your mental health. Reading has been proven as a very effective stress reducer and anxiety reliever. Reading about history and reading in general can future-proof our minds. A long-term reader will have a more adaptable mind, a way of thinking that is much more flexible. And whatever comes in the future, he or she will be more mentally and even physically prepared. Reading regularly is a keystone habit of so many successful people because it sets them aside from the fleeting dopamine intake that the majority of people are taking. And that makes them different. Reading gives you more creativity and innovation. You are basing whatever you are creating on the shoulders of former giants. That gives you endless material in an era dominated by superficial information, instant gratification. The habit of deep reading is increasingly rare and it gives you such a competitive advantage. Be different. Be a reader.